Hey guys, how you doing? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report with tip number 10 of our 30 tips in 30 days, Dog Days of Summer series. Hopefully you're enjoying these tips. In fact, if you are, please hit that like button. And if you are new to the Raymond Report, don't forget to subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner. All right, tip number 10, we're going to talk about fading the college football AP polls. And folks, what you want to do is every time, around this time of year, say now it's July 5th, so it's a bit early. You can see right here that ESPN has released their top 5 power index. But normally, starting about August, that you'll probably start seeing the AP or the college football polls come out. And what you're looking for in the top 25 are some of the pretenders and contenders. We all know who the contenders are, but it's trying to find those contenders that should not be in the top 25, and they come up with a lot of hype, and the sportsbook know this, so they're going to really try to persuade you to bet those teams in the first 3 weeks. And what I did in this segment here, guys, I went back the last 2 years. Now, the reason why I went back 2 years, last year was the COVID season, so we're going to compare the COVID season last season to the 2019 when you had a regular season, and just to see the difference between last year and this year when it came to the polls. Now, looking at last season, 2020, your final 4 FBS teams were Alabama against Notre Dame, and then you had Ohio State versus Clemson, and then you had Bama beating Ohio State in the national championship, and they were all there. Look at that. Notre Dame's at number 10. You had Clemson, Ohio State, and then let me see here. Where was the other one? So Alabama. Where's Alabama? Right there. Notre Dame, number 10. Ohio State, you had number 2. And then Clemson was the number 1 team, right? And you can see the records. Now, looking at these top 10s from last year, who were the contenders and pretenders? And, again, when I say the top 10 or the top 25 AP polls, a lot of time it's based on like the popularity contest, right? You get a program like Penn State with James Franklin at the helm, and you go, some good recruits come in, and they just get overhyped into the college football polls by the AP, and then you just you buy into it, and then you look at Penn State. What do they do out of the gate? They go 0-3 against the point spread, 4-5 on the year, and you get a team like LSU, who this is another one thing. You got LSU coming off a national championship series, championship the year before with Joe Burrow at the helm, and they go 5-5. And look at that, through the first 3 weeks of college football, they went 1-2, right? So what you're looking for are pretenders and contenders, and you know what? Just think of that popularity contest, right? When you think Clemson, they're for real. Ohio State, for real. Alabama, for real. Georgia, question mark. Oklahoma, for real. LSU, knowing that they're coming off that championship, no Joe Burrows, I had a question mark. Penn State, pretender. Florida, contender. Oregon, still question mark. And Notre Dame, they were going into the ACC last year, so nobody knew exactly how they were going to fit into a division or a conference after being independent for so long, right? Now, all these top 25 teams, these top 10s, I have their records right here. The best team right out of the gate that went 3-0, surprisingly enough, the Georgia Bulldogs. The Georgia Bulldogs ran the board here. In fact, they beat Arkansas in week 1, 37-10. They beat the Auburn Tigers 27-6, and then they beat Tennessee 44-21. 3 good teams, the SEC right there, and they went 3-0 right out of the gate. And Penn State, look at Penn State right out of the gate. We knew they went 0-5 right out of the gate. Indiana lost by 1. That was a great game. 38-25 to Ohio State was a loss, and then 35-19 to Maryland. That was a disappointing loss right there, and they went 0-3 right out of the gate, right? So who are going to be the Penn State this year when you're looking at the top 25 ranking, right? And sticking with 2020, and you look here at number 11 to 25, you can just tell who the pretenders and contenders are. And again, sometimes you're just going to be baffled by some of these situations where a team like Texas A&M, a lot of hype. They had Mon last year at the quarterback. Jimbo Fisher going into his second season at Texas A&M, and they went 9-1. But surprisingly enough, the bookmakers knew that they were going to have a good season, but the number was not in their favor for A&M. They went 0-3. So keep out on the lookout for those popular teams that are not in the top 10, and maybe who will see what the Texas A&M is this season. Now, going back to 2019. Now, in 2019, you had the Final Four being LSU against Oklahoma, and then Clemson, Ohio State, and your championship was LSU over Clemson. So LSU was ranked number 6. Oklahoma was ranked number 4. Clemson was your number 1 ranked team. They went 14-1 that season. And then Ohio State was ranked number 5. And then LSU against Clemson. And that was a good championship, right? Now, who are the teams in 2019 in the non-COVID era that, were part of the top 10, but didn't do well the first 3 weeks? And there's old Michigan, right? Jim Harbaugh. Again, the jury's always going to be out on Jim until he starts, beating Ohio State, right? You got to beat Ohio State. You got to be, one of the top teams in the Big Ten. But they went 0-3 right out of the gate. Thought I was going to sneeze there, but I think I'm good. All right. 9-4 on the season in 2019. But the team that had a really good run was LSU, right? LSU, and you got to consider, right? This is a tough conference that they're in. And they went 3-0. Who do they play? They played Georgia Southern, Texas, and Vanderbilt. So again, anytime you see the schedule come out and you see the AP poll, you got to go and see who teams are playing, and then start doing the math and say, okay, the perception versus reality, right? Can they beat this team, and do they have a real shot of beating that team? And if you look at the top 11 to 25, again, the top teams in that was Wisconsin and Auburn. And funny enough, there was not a team that went 0-3, so the popularity contest did not occur here in 2019. Now, let's take a quick look here at 2021. Losing my years here. 2021, the top teams so far. And again, this is the power index from the ESPN, so it's going to be close enough to the real facts of the AP poll. So Alabama will be number 1, Oklahoma. And when you do the math, and let's take a look at the top 10 teams, right? And again, think of the popularity contest. Alabama, they're going to be real. They're always real. Oklahoma, Clemson, Ohio State. This is a question mark right there. Iowa State, there'll be a question mark. Ohio State, they're going to be the real deal. Texas A&M, question mark. Georgia Bulldogs, question mark. Mississippi State, question mark. Oklahoma State, question mark. And Penn State, question mark. Now, of all those teams, here's the schedule coming up for those top 10 teams in the power index. Now, Alabama, what I did is I put the name of the head coaches because, again, it's so easy to get influence. I say Nick Saban right away. You think positive, right? You think winner. You think, okay, you know what? But that's what the books want you to think like. They want you to think that, that's an easy win. That's an easy cover. Remember my silver bullet tip? Number 1 here at the top 30. Check out that silver bullet. I'll get that word out. Silver bullet tip. And you don't want to say that 10 times, but check that out. Again, now Alabama, Nick Saban, Miami, Mercer, Florida, right? Now, 2 of the 3 are tough games. Maybe that's the trap game right here, right? Oklahoma with Lincoln Riley, Tulane, Western Carolina, Nebraska, Clemson, Dabo Swinney. You got Georgia, South Carolina State, Georgia Tech out of the gate, right? There could be some value right here with no Trevor Lawrence this year. Iowa State, Matt Campbell. Northern Iowa, UNLV. Is there any value right there? Ohio State, Ryan Day. You got Minnesota, Oregon, Tulsa in the first 3 games. Those are tough games right there. Texas A&M with Jimbo Fisher. Kent, Colorado, University of New Mexico. You got Georgia, Kirby Smart. Clemson, UAB, South Carolina. That is a tough one right there. Keep an eye out on Georgia when it comes out with the AP poll. Mississippi State, Mike Leach. Hey, we all love the Pirate. Louisiana Tech, North Carolina State, Memphis. This is going to be a tough one here, but you know what? Mississippi State might be one you look at. This could be our Georgia of this year. Oklahoma State, Mike Gundy. Missouri State, Tulsa, Boise State. And then you got Penn State with James Franklin at Wisconsin, Ball, and Auburn, right? So keep an eye on these ones. I think the ones that, the contenders and pretenders that you want to keep an eye on, I think Ohio State could be a pretender. I think Texas A&M without Mon could be a pretender. Georgia, question mark. Mississippi State, I'm telling you, this could be an interesting one right there. Oklahoma State could be a pretender, and then Penn State could be a pretender with all those 3 teams that they're facing. And I think that's where you might find some line value going against Penn State, going against Georgia, Texas A&M, Iowa State. Iowa State, I think, might be a good go against in the beginning of the college football series. When it comes to the AP poll, right? So there you have it. That is tip number 10 here of the Raymond Report. Fading college football polls. But again, you got to find where the pretenders and contenders are and go find the schedule, look at the teams, and go see who is going to be the next Penn State, who who's going to be the next Michigan. And this is where you can find value in week 1 to 3, because after week 3, we all know who's who in the zoo, and then you're going to find the AP reshuffle, and then you're going to start seeing the cream rise to the top. There you have it. Hope you enjoy it. Again, please hit that like button if you do enjoy these videos, these tips, and subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right-hand corner, or hit the subscribe button below this video. Cheers.